Mirage Advanced Guide. Let's get freaking cracking. One thing that you need to remember right now is that his decoys are mainly for distraction. And with that, there are plenty of ways to distract an enemy. In this clip, you'll see that me and Gibby keep on chasing each other, ring around the roses basically. Every time he jumps over the fence, I do. When I do, he does. So I thought let's mix it up a little bit. I use my tactical ability, send out a decoy and get it to stand in one place. But not just in any random place though. You'll notice that I specifically place my decoy right in front of the screen where the Gibby can see him. Now based on my analysis of this Gibby doesn't seem to have high IQ. No offense. So there are two outcomes that could have happened in this situation. Number one, the Gibby climbs the fence again, shoots at my decoy. And if he did that, I would have been able to easily take him out because he was too busy with my decoy. And number two, which is what happens in this clip, he shoots at the decoy through the fence. Now because where I positioned myself after I put a decoy out, I would have been easily able to take him out whether or not he climbs the fence or shoots through the fence. Next, in this clip, you'll see how amazing Mirage's ultimate ability is. It is one of the best ultimate abilities to use in a 1v1 situation. There are a number of ways to use his ultimate ability. You can use it for escape, distraction, or in this clip's case, an attack. What happens in this clip is that I get into a 1v1, right? And then the Bangalore decides to pop a smoke, go into the smoke, so I couldn't really see what I was shooting at. Rather than spraying and praying and hoping for the best, I reposition myself inside the building behind cover. If I use my ultimate ability right in front of this enemy, there would have been a bigger chance of the enemy figuring out which Mirage was real. So at first, I reposition, I hide behind cover, and then I use my ultimate. From this moment, the enemy could already see my decoys on the right hand side of this wall. So I go to my left and go in for the flank. Good night. Now this guy that I face is actually a friend of mine. He's always in my comment section. Say hello, Tactical Sushi. You're on YouTube. This next clip will show you exactly what I mean by the enemy being able to figure out which one the real Mirage is. So I guess I'm about to spill some secrets for you guys on how to actually counter my own main legend. So look at this Mirage right here. He's trying to get away. He pops his ult, but I end up figuring out exactly which one the real Mirage is. Now there are actually two ways that you can tell which one the real Mirage is. Number one, through their movements. Number two, Mirage's arms will glow blue if you're close enough to him and he is the real Mirage. But the range is about 5 meters, so this is not always the case. And in this clip, the Mirage was about 25 meters away. So I had to figure out which one the real one is based on his movements. Okay, at this particular point, I knew that the Mirage was trying to get away, right? He was under heavy fire surrounded by enemies. So I knew for a fact that his number one priority is to get out of there. So that's what I look for. I look at the decoys and figure out which one is trying to get away to a location that makes the most sense. All right, let's take a look at this screenshot right here. See this Mirage over here? The Mirage that's in the container? That obviously doesn't make sense. So that one's out of the equation for sure. Then we have this one over here, closer one to us on the left. If he's trying to get away, this Mirage won't be running directly to the enemy. There's two enemies right here. So this one's out of the equation. You see that this one on the far left hits the wall but does nothing. It doesn't climb, it just walks straight back. So that doesn't make sense. Then we have this guy over here, the one who slides right in front of me. Again, that just doesn't make sense. If he's trying to get away, you won't run towards an enemy and slide in front of them. So that leaves us with these two Mirages right here. This Mirage has already hit the wall, so I pay attention to see if they're gonna climb the wall or not. And as you can see, he keeps on running forward and does nothing. So that leaves us with this Mirage, which is 100% the real Mirage. Uno reverse guard bamboozle, baby! In this next clip, I will show you that even though you've got a really good way to distract enemies, that doesn't make you invincible. On this clip, you'll see that the enemy runs across the road, right? The first thing that I did was give comms to my teammates. Oh, on the road. The second thing I did was send my decoy towards where the player was heading to. And if it's not obvious enough, I send my decoy that way because the enemy is also running that way, so I wanted to distract him. The next thing I do, find cover. At this point, I already knew that the enemy already had cover. This truck. I was at a massive disadvantage, so I repositioned. If the enemy decided to engage in a fight with me, I would have had cover using this wall. But anywho, the enemy wasn't engaging my decoy, so it made me think that the enemy was not ready for a fight. So guess what? I push. As my decoy makes its way to the left-hand side of the road, I make my way to the right-hand side of the road. My aim? To flank the enemy who's busy watching my decoy. At this point, I still cannot see the enemy, so the enemy must be hiding in front of this van. So, as I push forward, I jump and then I slide so I can slide my corner and surprise the enemy. But turns out I didn't even need to slide all the way out. And I was right, the enemy wasn't ready for a fight. You can see that this Wraith is trying to heal. And because she's so busy trying to avoid my decoy, her focus was on my decoy and I was able to shoot her from the back. Good night. Last clip. I know I've used this in my previous video not too long ago, but there's just no way that I'm gonna have an advanced Mirage guide and not have this clip. This clip shows the true power of Mirage's ultimate ability. The ability to distract and keep enemies busy. Okay, so I'm walking peacefully and then all of a sudden there is an enemy squad right in front of me. At this point, I wasn't with my team. You should always be with your team, by the way. But it's just pubs, so who cares? Anyway, on top of this is my second time playing the game since it came out. So my sensitivities were all over the place. And therefore, I wasn't confident with my own skill and abilities to take a full squad down. So instead of getting into a 1v3 situation that I probably would not have won, I knew I needed to play smart. Right, so I'm moving forward, I bait my enemies, I want them to see me. And then you'll see that once they've taken the bait, I'll move back, send my decoys out, and then go around to regroup with my teammates. But at this point, I found out that my teammates were actually already making their way to me. So I just head back to the scene. And right at this moment, you hear that the enemies are so busy trying to kill all my decoys, trying to figure out which one the real Mirage is. They are having an absolute party. And because of the fact that they're so distracted and my teammates were on their way to them, my teammates were able to flank these enemies and take them out very easily. Ooh, they got ice. Mirage is a very good and fun legend to play, but there are a few mechanics that you need to know about his abilities, and if you don't know what they all are, watch this video.